All I did was walk home with her. That's all, Lillian. Well, I don't know what to say.
I do. Goodbye, Lillian.
Look, we're never going to get anywhere if you all talk at once. Now, if you've got a suggestion, raise your hand. Mr. Drucker?
I suggest you all leave.
Oh. Any other suggestions? How about Geraldine for the part? She's a good actress.
Yeah, but she weighs 180 pounds. How's a hero gonna lift her over the wall?
Maybe she could lift him.
Hey, Herbert. That'll be 7 cents.
7 cents? What for?
For 21 grapes.
But I only ate 6.
What about those 15 dropouts? Betty Jo, I wish you'd hold your meeting somewheres else.
But, Mr. Drucker, we're doing you a favor bringing you all this trade.
Trade means people buying stuff. This is more like a shoplifters' convention.
Don't worry, just keep track of what's missing and we'll pay you at the end of the meeting.
This is the end of the meeting. Now scoot, all of you.
But, Lillian, you've got to believe me. All I did was walk home with her.
That's all he did, Lillian. Goodbye. Now skedaddle.
But we haven't cast the play yet.
And if we don't, we won't raise enough money for the new playground equipment for the kids.
What's the sense of buying the kids' playground equipment? They'll still come in here and swing on the coffee grinder.
I'll only be a few minutes more.
That's what you said yesterday afternoon. If your play runs as long as your meetings, you got a smash hit. Give me that. Haven't I had enough trouble with all these kids without having to keep an eye on you? And he ain't even gonna be in the play.
Well, of course he's not gonna... Hey, kids, I think Mr. Drucker just solved our problem.
I did? Well, how about solving mine and clearing out of here?
Jonathan says, nuts like Grimsby will never threaten the world again.
Not so fast.
Well, what's the use of going to secretarial school if you can't keep up?
I can type 100 words a minute, as long as you don't say them too fast.
Okay, where are you?
Jonathan says nuts.
Nuts like Grimsby will never threaten the world again. And the curtain comes down to thunderous applause.
Because the audience is so glad the play is over.
Honey.
Betty? Betty!
Yeah?
Where do you want these?
On the table.
Oh. How about the sofa?
Over here.
I'll need some help. He could be the dead spy.
We better get him up.
Where do you want the safe?
Alongside the desk. Not over there. Over here.
How's this car, Betty Jo?
That's fine.
Yeah, it belongs to my brother.
Your brother? He's 25.
I sneaked it out while he wasn't looking.
Hi, kids.
Hi,
Miss Redmond.
We want to rehearse, but Uncle Joe won't wake up. Uncle Joe! Uncle Joe! Joe, you ought to know by now that's not the way. Lunch.
I'll be there in a minute, Kate. I knew you were here all the time.
Well, stick around for a while, Mom. We're going to run through the new last act where the handsome young scientist gets the secret formula away from the spy's hideout and makes his getaway in his custom-built convertible.
Well, keep it under 50 until you get it out of the lobby, huh? Hold it. Now, Betty Jo, I don't mind you rehearsing in here, but you're going to have to leave the dogs outside.
But, Mom, these are the actors.
Oh, yeah. Which one is Rock Hudson?
You mean these dogs are in the play with you?
Oh, we're not in it. This is an all-dog cast.
What's the name of this play? A.B.'s Irish Setter?
Yeah, who's going to be the leading man? A dog, or whatever.
Him. He's the handsome young scientist.
Him a scientist? Well, he ain't got brains enough to be a dog. He didn't have them glasses on.
I'd like you to meet the rest of the cast.
Oh.
This is the villain, Coldfinger. He's the head of the International Spy Syndicate. And that's the man from Auntie.
Auntie? Amalgamated Underground Network for trapping international enemies.
And this is Marlene. She's the glamorous, seductive spy. Coldfinger sends her to lure the handsome young scientist to his doom.
Uh-huh. She's lovely. But in my days, the seductive, glamorous spies had longer legs.
Oh, we'll take care of that with makeup. Now, give me the script, Billy. Jeff and Hank, come on over here, and the rest of you, move back.
Oh, all right.
Okay, now we'll run through the business in the spy's hideout. Ready, leading man? Now, this is the door where you enter. You turn on the light, then you look around to make sure you're not observed. You go to the telephone and disconnect it. Then you tiptoe to the safe, open the door, take out the secret formula, close the door, turn off the light, and leap in your custom-built getaway car and drive off. Curtain. Got it?
Look at the dumb expression on his face. I told you he didn't have no brains. I'll show you how to do it. Watch this.
Joe.
Don't prompt me, I'll remember. The big ham.
Well, he did everything just perfect.
Perfect, my nothing. The dumb dog ran to the safe. Betty Joe said to tiptoe.
Mom, there's someone to see you.
Mrs. Bradley, I'm Arthur Bronson.
Bronson,
I wrote you a letter last week saying I'd drop in today.
Oh, a letter. Uncle Joe, did I get a letter last week?
From who?
Mr. Bronson?
Never seen him before in my life.
No, but I thought maybe that you saw the letter.
Mrs. Bradley, I'm an attorney.
Watch it, Kate. That's even worse than a lawyer.
There's nothing to worry about. My business here concerns the Kroger estate.
Kroger? That cantankerous old skinflint? Kate, you remember the time he stayed here at the hotel, and he was...
He remembered one of this household in his will.
He was the salt of the earth?
Who was?
Mr. Cooper.
Kroger.
Kroger?
Well, the least you could do is remember his name after all the money he left me. How much did he leave me?
Uncle Joe, I think it was very nice of Mr. Kroger, but I can't think of any reasons why
I
you
can think of plenty. Who lugged his suitcase up to his room?
I did.
Who went down to the train and got Mr. Coogan's...
Kroger?
Yeah, who went down to the train and got Mr. Kroger's mail?
I did.
Yeah? Well, who sneaked sandwiches up to his room at night?
I did.
Well, who was all...
I did.
Keep on trying, Uncle Joe. You'll come up with something.
Well, just having me around, seeing that everybody was taking care of him was a comfort to the old gentleman.
You were saying, Mr. Bronson?
Oh, yes. Let me just read from the document. To my niece, Emily, I leave my house on Walnut Lane. To my nephew, Elroy...
Forget that remote, Ken, and get down to me.
All right, here we are. In fond remembrance and appreciation of my many happy visits to the Shady Rest, I leave the sum of $200.
$200?
Like I always said, Mr. Kroger's one of the nicest, most generous men that ever stopped at the hotel.
I leave the sum of $200 to the member of the Bradley household who was the friendliest and most lovable of all.
This is getting embarrassing.
I refer to my little four-footed, tail-wagging friend, the Shady Rest dog.
I was right about the old skinflint. I should have known a leopard never changes his clothes.
Mr. Rich, did you hear that?
Congratulations.
Now that you're an animal of means, you're going to need somebody to handle your investments. Now,
May I continue? Mr. Kroger placed the dog's inheritance in trust and has appointed you, Mrs. Bradley, as executrix.
Well, now.
I'm an executrix.
Like I was saying, Kate.
6, Uncle Joe.
But this is important.
All right. What is it?
An opportunity like this only comes along once in a lifetime, and you can talk better in the other room. Now, here's what I got in mind. Now, here's the idea.
Joe, this is ridiculous. Let me out of this cellar.
You can't miss, Kate.
You are not getting 1 cent of the dog's $200.
But, Kate.
I'm not Kate now. I am the executrix.
It's a wonderful story, Mr. Drucker. Isn't that a good picture of you?
Congratulations. Like they say, don't spend it all in one place, unless it's Sam Drucker's general store. Now, that's real cute.
Put it back. Put it back on the shelf.
By golly, I think he wants you to have it.
I can't afford it.
Looks like he wants to buy it for you out of his legacy.
Gee. Thanks. But you shouldn't have. Hi, Sam.
Hi.
The dog bought me this out of his inheritance.
What? Now, let's get this straight. You can't just go around spending your inheritance, not without giving your executrix a very good reason.
Isn't that a good reason?
He really does want her to have it.
Well, put it on the dog special account.
Oh, thanks, Mom.
Oh, don't thank me. Thank you.
Gee, now he wants to buy you a gift, Mom.
Oh, it's beautiful, but I couldn't.
Go ahead.
Huh?
I'll put it on his bill. I could do with a lot more customers like you.
You can't keep spending your money like this, or I'll have to put you on an allowance.
Oh, he's just buying presents for his friends.
Didn't buy me nothing.
Any questions?
Here's your supper, boy. Well, eat it.
Betty Jo, your chicken's getting cold.
Coming, Mom.
You girls go ahead. Uncle Joe will be right in.
Okay, Mom. How's the play coming, Betty?
Oh, just fine. I'm having a little trouble with the Basset Hound, though. She wants her own dressing room with a star on it.
Fried chicken, there's nothing like. Get off of there.
Your supper's in the kitchen.
Oh, he won't touch it, Mom. He just sits there and admires his picture in the paper.
He's going to be admiring his obituary if you don't get off my chair.
You get down. That's Uncle Joe's chair.
Bring back my chicken, you gizzard snatcher.
He's never acted like that before.
Next thing you know, he'll be wanting breakfast in bed.
I think that money's going to his head.
You better not get used to it, because he ain't going to have it long.
Break the will?
Yeah. I thought that you being a city lawyer, Mr. Douglas, you might slip me a few loopholes.
Hold this, please, will you?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. There you are. I've got to get back down here. Loopholes, you say?
Like I said.
Yeah, go right ahead, Mr. Carson.
Yeah, well, what I wanted to ask.
Yeah?
Was you, well, Mr. Douglas.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
That's all right. You need a little help here.
No, I got it. I'm fine, thank you. Go on. What were you saying?
Well, what do you think?
About what?
About the will.
Excuse me, I've got to get back down for a minute here.
Should have gone to a lawyer with offices on the ground floor.
With my own hands. Oh, Mr. Carson, now, about the will.
What will?
The will you were telling me about up there.
Can we talk about it down here?
Yeah?
Now, if there's some way you could break the will, what does the dog need all that money for?
Well, if we broke the will, would you get the money?
I might if we could prove old Kroger was a non-menace campus.
Non-menace campus?
Yeah, off his rocker. Didn't they learn you none of that legal law at Harvard?
Well, I think you'd have difficulty proving that Mr. Kroger was non-menace campus.
But maybe you could prove the dog exerted undue influence on old Kroger.
Now, how could he do that?
Probably told him a bunch of lies about me.
The dog told lies?
Now you're getting the idea.
Mr. Carson, I don't think I'm qualified to handle this case.
Took the words right out of my mouth. And another thing, Mr. Douglas, if I was you, I wouldn't let no daughter of mine run around with him.
Oh, that's all right with me. As long as he's got money.
Get out, you mutt. Go on, beat it.
What's that?
Hey, you're the dog that... Your credit is good here, boy. How about a nice T-bone?
Hey, wait a minute. Where'll I send the bill? Shady Rest. That'll be £3. Pound and a half.
Okay, here we are on the Orient Express headed for Istanbul. Marlene, you're in compartment B, searching for the secret formula that the handsome young scientist stole back in the last scene. Coldfinger, you're in compartment C, ready to double-cross Marlene. At this point, in comes our handsome young scientist. No.
What's so funny?
Oh, we thought you were the dog. Isn't he out there?
Probably down at the train giving away autographs.
This is the third rehearsal he's missed this week.
That's the way it goes. Once an actor gets a little money, he goes Hollywood.
Take my advice, you get yourself a new leading man. That dog's about as dependable as a lace parachute. He's always out.
There he is. You naughty boy. Missing rehearsals and holding up the actors. Well, where did you come from? Oh, she's with you. Well, you certainly know how to pick 'em. Glamorous, seductive.
Who's that?
Our new leading lady. The dog discovered her.
Oh, I always knew he had an eye for talent.
Isn't she just perfect for the part? Well, doesn't she look like a scientist assistant?
Definitely. The minute I walked in the room, I said to myself, now there's a scientist assistant.
Isn't she adorable?
Can she act?
Oh, you never know, Uncle Joe. She might turn out to be another Kim Novak.
T-bone for you and a porterhouse for you. I'm flying in some Cornish game hens next week. Put you down for a dozen. Hope that'll be enough.
I've only got one thing to say to you. You've been spending money like you inherited Fort Knox. Now look, butcher shop, Sam Drucker, a haircut. I've got news for you, Playboy. You're broke.
have I told you? You're supposed to make your entrance from this side. All right, ready for the dress rehearsal. Stand by for your entrance, Mignon. Where's the moon, Uncle Joe? This is supposed to be at night in the spy's hideout. Oh, let's have the moon.
Joe, get the moon up.
Well, we don't have much time.
You're holding a dress rehearsal.
Well, let's run through the final scene so we can let the audience in.
Yeah, one moon coming right up.
Oh, that's the wrong side, Uncle Joe. Turn it around.
Well, the trouble with this stick, I can't get a good grip on it.
Why don't you pretend it's a turkey leg?
That's fine. Now we hear the voices of the spy gang as they search their hideout for Mignon. All right, spy gang. That's fine. All right, Mignon. Come out into the courtyard. Now remember, you're trapped. There are walls all around you. There's no way to escape. That's the cue for the handsome young scientist to save his beautiful assistant. Come on, lower the rope in the basket from the top of the wall. Well, come on there.
Come on, handsome young scientist, you're on.
Maybe he's one of them method actors.
Looks more like a method sleeper. Come on, this is your big chance. Just like in the movies. Understudy goes on for star. Next day, he's toast to Broadway. What's the matter? Don't you want to be the toast of Broadway?
I'll help you, Ma. We've got to get him up that ladder.
I know.
Why don't you cooperate?
Eddie, Joe.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not your fault that our dog didn't show up.
You know what? You better call off the show and give the audience back their money.
There goes the playground equipment. I can't believe that our dog would leave us. I wish Mr. Kroger had never left him that $200.
I knew he was a phony the first day I laid eyes on him.
Megan, you come back.
Oh, Betty Joe, that's
Let's hurry up.
wonderful.
We still got time to put the show on.
All right, Moon Man, rise and shine.
To the rescue, boy. Come on, boy. Pull it up. Oh, you were all just wonderful.
Yeah. And we collected more than enough to get the playground equipment.
Yeah. Where's your Uncle Joe?
Well, I don't know, Mom.
He's probably sulking somewhere because these dogs are getting all the attention. Petticoat Junction.
This has been a Filmways presentation.